Welcome back to Pasture Pioneers. In this video, we're unpacking why and how we moved away from buying meat from the grocery store and the benefits of raising your own meat. Meat that is commercially produced is not as clean as it's made out to be. So by raising it yourself, you're in control of what goes into it. You can raise a lot more meat on 2 acres than you might think. So let's get started.
So one of the things that we focused on when we first got our homestead was raising our own meat. And we didn't do it all at once. We started out with chickens, raising our own broilers. And then we raised our own pigs next, and after that we added our sheep. But it's always been important to us from the beginning that we know where our meat is coming from. It took us a few years, but now we don't even buy any meat from the store. We either raise it all ourselves or we know exactly where it's sourced from. So this is a Boston butt, which is basically a pork shoulder, one of ours that we actually butchered this last winter. There's just nothing quite like having your own meat and knowing exactly how it was raised, where it was raised. And you know, this one was actually raised in our backyard on our own land. So we know that this animal lived a happy and healthy life, and we don't do any antibiotics or growth hormones. So this is like the best meat that you could grow for yourself. So it's always been important to us that we have, or that we know the source of our meat. And when we got our homestead here, that was one of the first things that we focused on, was having quality meat. So by raising our own animals, we know exactly the life that they have lived. We know what we've put into them. We feed them non-GMO grain because that's one of the easiest things that we can access with the highest quality. And by doing so, we actually improve our homestead at the same time. So with having our chickens out on the pasture, we're adding nitrogen back into the land, and the same goes with our pigs. Anything that would normally be a waste or a byproduct is actually beneficial for us. So we've actually noticed on our property, we have 2 different neighboring fields against us, and the one is just completely vacant, nothing is done with it. The other one is just yard that's mowed every day, all the time. And we have noticed a significant difference in ours, how it always greens up faster. There's actually more forage there, which ultimately means that it retains water better too, so it does better in a drought. As a growing family, it would be really costly for us to buy all of this meat the same quality, and so we raise it ourselves. And the way that we offset our costs is we actually tend to raise more than we need and then sell the extra, and that actually works out really well for us. It speeds up the process of improving our land, and we also get to cover our costs so that we don't have as big of an input into our meat right off the bat. There is a learning curve to raising your own meat, and probably the best way to get started is just to start with one animal at a time, and that's what we did. And even though I grew up with animals my whole life, when we were here, we dialed in one system and then moved on to the next. And we've just added all these animals until now. It might look like we're doing a lot, but it didn't feel that way because we just added it all progressively.
So as Matthias said, it's no secret that raising your own meat is going to require more time, more work, more effort. Some people can't even raise their meat due to where they live. Maybe it's an HOA law, neighborhood laws, whatever. And so this can make a great opportunity for us to serve those people by raising meat for them on our land, which also in turn improves it. We can assure the animals a good life here. They're slaughtered humanely. And most importantly, because they live on pasture, the taste is not even comparable to the store. So it's more of a time sacrifice to raise your own because you have the work you're putting into it. But What you get out of it is a product that is not comparable to the store in regards of taste or quality. You know, I think we've gotten so disconnected from our food in America that we've forgotten what it's actually supposed to taste like. We actually have a commercial hog farm down the road, and their practices are, it's just disgusting. The commercial meat growing industry for pigs, for chickens, it's literally disgusting. And I can't even begin to go into the atrocities and inhumane practices here because it would take too long to go through. So when animals are raised as they should be, in pasture, in sunshine, their health is automatically better. You don't need all the antibiotics. It's a more sustainable approach for the animal, for the land, for everybody involved. As a family of 7, we, on 2 acres, we're able to raise over 1,000 pounds of meat just on our 2 acres. That doesn't mean we keep all of that meat for ourselves. Like I said, we sell some to help cover our costs too. But it's really just incredible how much you're able to do on just 2 acres. But finally, you know, there's such a connection that comes with raising your own food and having a hand in the growing process from start to finish. It's very satisfying. I think it's what we were made to do. We were made to care for things like plants and animals. I mean, why else do people get so many pets these days? Now, we raise animals for meat. They're not pets. But I think the point is we were created to take care of things. And there's satisfaction when you're able to care for something, give it a good life, harvest it, and then it then nourishes you and your family. It also gives our kids a huge respect for life and responsibility in teaching them to have a hand in the chores. You know, every year as our kids are getting older, we're involving them more and more in every part of the process. Even starting from like 4 or 5 years old, they're helping with the butchering, not necessarily holding knives or anything like that. Don't think that, but they're helping with the cleanup. They're helping, hey, could you go get some water for us? We involve them in every aspect of it. This is gonna set them up in the future as adults.
Raising your own meat can be very rewarding, and it's brought us one step closer to being less dependent on the broken food systems that we have today. Knowing that we have raised our own meat and we will continue to do so, we have control of the food that we eat, and we don't have to worry about shortages that happen when animals are slaughtered for no reason. So if you haven't done so, consider doing so. Thanks for watching, guys. Please hit the subscribe button, and we will see you next week.